Alright, stream is getting started. Still need to do some basic things, but I'll be here soon, so. Also, sorry if you can hear a lawnmower in the background. It's that time of year, I guess. Okay. Shit, what am I doing? Okay, take me to my profile, please. So I can pop into my stream. Here's my shelf. And maybe pretend to talk to myself if no one shows up. Okay. Alright, sorry. It's a little behind. I guess maybe not that bad. Okay, cool. Oh, hello, Super. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, I'm still setting things up, so forgive me, it's a little bit slow. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, it can hear me. So, yep, it's, the new week has started, so, you know, hopefully I can get to all my streams today. Hopefully that stupid internet doesn't crash again. But yeah, and also I should just try to, yeah, okay. So here I am. Sorry, I should zoom out. Yep. Okay, my VC face text is still there, so I almost forgot. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I think I forgot a few things and just time got away from me, but yeah. Have you seen the funeral of Pope Francis last Saturday? I have not, unfortunately. I'm not really a religious person, so I don't follow the Catholic Church all that closely. But yeah, so, you know, shame that he died, but yeah, so. Okay, so how was your weekend recently? Or I guess last weekend or Monday too? You know, not much happened for me, so it's alright. I thought maybe you did. Yeah, I just don't really follow stuff like that. Sorry. But yeah, so. But yeah, so my weekend was really fun. I learned much for school, but I chilled too. I see, that's good to hear. I wasn't too brutal at work last weekend, so that's nice. You know, the returns were kind of rough. We have these like little phone things at work that you're supposed to use to help you like locate where items are, or, you know, be able to call other co-workers, but I haven't been able to find any for like the past 3 work days, which is kind of frustrating, but you know, I've been kind of making do with it. But yeah, so, and I also been kind of just working on some art stuff. As you can see here, I might have showed you guys, you might have seen this because I worked on it a tiny bit last stream, but I'm just going to work on this today because I kind of forgot to plan things out. You know, I was considering doing a flower study, but I just didn't really want to figure out which one I wanted to do. And yeah, I've been kind of working on a lot of pieces for Mermaid. So this is a sketch for an art trade I'm doing with Starry Mouse. And I kind of just did this yesterday because for the hell of it. I was like last night. I don't know, I was just kind of scribbling some art because while I was rewatching I've been rewatching the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so yeah. And it just kind of did the sketch and cleaned this up a bit. You might have seen me do that already, but actually no, I did do my cleanup sketch last yesterday and Friday. Yeah, because I was in someone else's stream and they were doing like Mario Kart and I was trying to like draw between the Mario Kart races. So yeah, sorry, I was just kind of showing you what I was doing. I also bought some sprouts, which I probably shouldn't have done because I still haven't been able to till the ground, so yeah, I just kind of, but I got kind of impatient, so I bought lettuce last Sunday. But yeah, so may as well start getting to work on this guy again. And I I yoinked that color while I was, that had this, shade filter on. So, need to get that again. I'm just gonna come up with a quick line art for this dude. And then I'll start working on some rendering. Honestly, this was meant to be a casual piece too, but, you know, I started kind of investing a lot of time in it. Just because I always struggle to draw this dude. It's kind of an OC that's kind of lived in my head for, honestly, years now. But yeah, so oh my god, sorry. Okay, I keep hitting it keeps scrolling on one of those bars and it launches me because I use the scroll button on my mouse a lot to, you know, move in and out. That's kind of how I zoom in and out. But sometimes I hit that bar and it moves me to another side of it moves me to another part of the canvas, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so, sorry to just kind of yap. I'll yap about that, but I haven't actually started on the garden otherwise. Though my broccoli sprouts are getting a bit bigger too. So they're not like it feels like they haven't grown like a ton quite yet. But the ones that made it, I got like 9 out of 10 that made it. And sorry. Oh, sorry. Ugh. So yeah, I think some of them are starting to grow like their first like true leaf, because they have like those little sprouted leaves that kind of remind me of a clover. It doesn't actually look like clover leaf, but yeah, so they're starting to grow their like true leaves pretty soon. Yeah, I can kind of see like these tiny little leaves sprouting from the plant. So yeah, hopefully they get there. But yeah, last Sunday I bought a bunch of lettuce and herbs out of just because I was getting really impatient. I also looked at some of the other stuff that I intend to buy. Like, they finally got the marigolds out in the garden center. Honestly, it looks like it's starting to look like really lively there, so just or starting to like really fill up with the plants and stuff, so that's kind of exciting. I don't know if you've started like, sorry, I forgot if you mentioned that you like to, if you garden or not. I know you mentioned you live with like fruit trees and stuff, but I don't know if you were trying to or planning to do anything outside of that. By the way, what kind of stuff have you been learning for school? And hello, Marikai Painter. It's nice to see you here. I was just kind of yapping about some of my gardening stuff. I hope your day has been going well. But yeah, I'm just kind of... I'm just working on this personal piece. Oh my god. I'm lining this personal piece, since I'm... Okay. I've been kind of mostly focusing on my underpaintings for Mermaid, so I haven't really been doing a ton of like work outside of this, so I just kind of wanted to continue working on this casual piece that I didn't really plan out for. Okay, I did garden a couple of years ago, but I stopped because I didn't have a lot of time anymore. I see. Yeah, that's understandable. And for Marikai, or Meraki, sorry, I feel like I keep mispronouncing that. Cool, it's all right. How is yours? My day has been okay so far. I had to call in for a doctor's appointment because of I have a skin tag that's been kind of causing some pain. And hello, Apollo Galvis. I appreciate you showing up. I'm just doing this current piece, as I just explained to Meraki, and yeah, I'm just going to be working on this casually for a few hours. I don't know how long ago, personally, but I don't really have any other plans today. But yeah, I'm just doing this. So I hope your day's been going well, and I appreciate that you came here. what was I saying? Oh yeah, I had to make a doctor's appointment, and that kind of threw me off a little bit, but otherwise my morning went all right. I made my like potato mash again today with like a massive russet potato. So, you know, I was planning on making some food for my mother as well, but because she usually eats some of it, or she usually likes to eat some of it with me, but she had to come into work early, so, and I ended up having to like save some of my the leftovers on my super potato, so yeah. And thank you, Apollo. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, so but it ended up really tasting really good, so there's that. Yeah. I accidentally bought a lot of fatty bacon again, so, but the leftover grease is good for the cooking the potatoes, so I think that helped make the potatoes taste really nice. I also bought a coffee grinder a little while ago with some rewards from work, and you know, I started using it last night, so I'm just starting to grind my own coffee. It ends up it's tasting pretty good, so yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of, I need to get to work. Just kind of yapping about my breakfast and all that. By the way, what has everyone else had for breakfast today? I know Super has probably had like their dinner or lunch already, so if you want to say that instead, that's fine. Also, thankfully the lawnmower is off now, so yeah, there was like a lawnmower this morning, so I was a little worried about the stream, but it looks like he's done, so oh my god. Oh, this is a piece I'm planning on working later. I didn't mean to hit that, but yeah, I've been making some underpaintings for Mermaid, which is a event where you paint a bunch of merfolk. There's actually a daily prompts that you're supposed to work on, I think, but that's not really how I do Mermaid. I just kind of draw merfolk related pieces. I don't know. I was about to say mermaid, but I actually do a lot of. I mostly draw men, so just like pretty boys. So yeah. I had pasta for dinner. Ah, I see. That sounds tasty. Yeah, I was thinking of trying to plan out what to eat tomorrow, because as I mentioned before, I have like leftover potatoes, and you know, that kind of stuff doesn't normally last very long, so I'm probably going to cook with it tomorrow. And I was wondering what I could eat with it as well. I considered pasta, but that might be a little too many carbs. I don't know. I think pasta and potatoes generally have the same role. I usually buy something on the way home, but I'm just gonna try and make myself something tomorrow. Just not sure what yet. I mean, I kind of want some meat with it, but I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of meat. Yeah, so. Okay, outside of everything I said, not much happened this weekend. So. I guess I was also trying to read more of my Vampire Hunter D book. I finished the final novella in the omnibus, the fourth one, and so now I'm able to get on with the major story the major story that happens, which is supposed to split into like 4 different parts. So yeah, I'm kind of interested what that might read, but I'm also wondering if I should take a break with a different series of books, or not series, but just another book, but I'm not sure. Yeah, my to-read list is pretty like long, so you know, I gotta like work through it before I actually buy anything else. So try to remind myself to do that. By the way, do you personally like to read Super? I don't know if I ever talked about that. sometimes I read as a hobby, but sometimes I just kind of fall out of it. So I know I need to do it a lot more, but yeah, I haven't been the best lately. So try to get back on my list of books. Yeah, I have some, I do have some like nonfiction books about art history. And I also just have some novels. But yeah. I personally like, I like to read a lot of, fantasy and sometimes like horror books. And by horror, I normally mean like vampire books. I mean, I was never a big fan of like the Twilight series or anything, but I do like kind of the gothic fantasy feel that a lot of the vampire books have. So yeah, it's kind of why I'm drawn to it. I love to read, but not storybooks. I'm addicted to information books. I see. Do you read, what kind of info books do you like read in general? Like, do you have any certain subjects that you like to read about specifically? As I said before, I mostly go for like art history stuff, so honestly just kind of a bunch of picture books. But yeah, sometimes yeah, it's mostly art books, let's be real. But yeah, I've always been a big fan of like fantasy, so stuff that kind of relates to that too. I have art books related to fantasy, like my Yoshitaka Amano books. I also have a couple of Frank Frazetta books, and so they were like pretty prolific fantasy artists. Yoshitaka Amano did like art for Vampire Hunter D in the Final Fantasy series, and Frank Frazetta did a lot of like covers for fantasy books back in the day, so he also influenced a lot of other artists, so yeah. First, I read a lot about geographic things, but I try now to read books about biology and human anatomy because I have to learn it after the summer break. I see. Yeah, sounds kind of interesting. I used to really like reading books about biology as a kid, but I don't read as much now. It's still kind of interesting to learn about biology, though. Like, stuff with plants, I find pretty interesting. Along with, like, certain animals. I usually, like, kind of watch, like, little videos instead now. I guess one of the few things I gotta complain about is that it feels like there's a lot of the channels kind of go over those same animals, but yeah, I guess it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I think a lot of the more advanced biology stuff is kind of goes past me. Like I have an easy time grasping just basic qualitative data, like what kind of environment do the animals live in or whatever. I guess I shouldn't say qualitative, but taxology, I think it's called. Yeah, I struggle with that, like the naming of certain animal groups. Like I took a biology class back in community college, and I know I struggled with that because like there's a lot of crazy names that come from Latin, that just kind of remembering the name of the different domains too. Like, of course I remember like the kingdoms and some of the basic names, like crustaceans would probably fall into that. Mollusk, arachnids. I also read Natural Geographic magazines. I see. Sorry. Yeah, I remember seeing some Nat Geo magazines from the library, I remember back in the day I got some Nat Geo a couple of Nat Geo magazines from the library. I think I bought a few too, but I don't quite remember where they're at. I do have that one magazine that's I still have that one magazine about the fish. So yeah, this sand looks really funky. Just gonna try to hide it away with all this lining. It's like you can't see it now. I have a really hard time with hands. I tried like studying anatomy too, back in, like I joined an anatomy class, but I couldn't really handle it. I had a lot of trouble with school when I was in my senior year, just because I was just kind of depressed as a kid, so, and it kind of got overwhelming. So I never really I kind of left for geology instead after the first semester. Honestly, and I like geology a lot too. It's kind of, I think rocks can be pretty interesting. They also talked about like landscapes, or like how like landscapes form, I guess. And sorry, yeah, Latin is pretty hard. I try to learn a little Latin to understand everything better. Yeah, that sounds smart. I know like a lot of the science terms like to be based off Latin because it's a dead language, so it doesn't really change. That was the reasoning that was used for it. But I just never had the motivation to actually learn the language because I didn't think I'd have much use for it. You know, I kind of wanted to focus on other things like art. Okay, oops. Sorry, yeah. I'm trying erasing that, or lining this a little bit, but yeah, so. Alright. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep continuing this. If you find anatomy hard, maybe download a free PDF about Grey's Anatomy book. Maybe, I don't know. Like I have a okayish grasp on like the things that are important as an artist. So like obviously it could be better, but you know, the thing about like a lot of the science-based stuff, it does it's kind of aimed for more for like people who want to go into medicine. So you have to learn a lot of like physiology as well. And I think that's the part that kind of I struggled with. Honestly, for artists, the main things you kind of need to learn are like the bones and the muscles, because that's usually what you draw. But yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I think my ability to draw isn't too terrible, but I actually I think I have a couple of anatomy books too. And also I forgot I have coffee right here, so I've got to drink that fast. No, the opposite. Your drawing's really beautiful. Thank you. I think the general drawing's okay right now. Just kind of, I just struggle with hands. I don't think like learning anatomy is going to help me with that. That's kind of that may be a little more into the issue of like handling the forms and actually just doing it. But yeah, hopefully my stuff is like passable. I know, I feel like more experienced artists probably would see the issues, but whatever. Yeah, I think learning like the the basic forms would help a lot. It's something I kind of, you know, in my earlier part of my art journey, it's kind of something I kind of ignored because it seemed really basic, or the parts that weren't basic or were kind of frustrating to me, like doing heads or measuring things in heads, which is something I heard a lot about like earlier on, but I kind of just avoided that because I didn't want to do it. But yeah, a lot of artists will try to measure things in heads. So, like the normal human would probably be like 6.5 to 7 heads tall. A lot of artists will actually make their characters 7. In comic books, at least, the characters would often be like 7 or 8 or 8 or 9 heads even, to make them look kind of gives the impression of them being taller. And then like in, I guess in more anime art styles, or especially like chibis or super cutesy styles, the head size would be like, it'd probably be like 2, or for chibis it'd probably go down all the way to even to like 2 or even less than 2 heads tall. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm not explaining this very well. But yeah, so heads could be like 2 to 6 feet tall. Kids would, and also kids would have like less heads than the average adult, because as you know, like proportions, that kind of falls more into the study of proportions, which is kind of goes between, technically might count as an anatomy thing. It's kind of hard to just say something's like a form or anatomy thing, because the study of studying your forms kind of impacts everything. So yeah, I kind of ignored a lot of the basic stuff when I was younger because I just didn't want to do it. And I think that, but when I did like eventually start studying my forms properly, like just drawing my cubes and all that, my art improved a lot. So sorry, I kind of went really off topic right there. BRB, gotta plan some things on my calendar. All right. Okay. I'll just handle things over here then. So. But yeah, sorry, I'm just looking over some stuff real quick. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just kind of... My attention's a little bit split, but yeah, so... It helped with my... It helped a lot with my perspective, too. Perspective is definitely something I've avoided for a really long time. But just doing, like, learning basic... Trying to get a handle of, like, very basic perspective kind of made my art look a lot better, too, so... Yeah, just kind of... I struggled a lot more in, like, the sketch phases for a lot of art pieces. Now I'm able to just sketch things out a lot faster. Like, it's always smooth sailing, but... Yeah, I can see the improvement. But yeah, my anatomy definitely was, like, a lot more funky back in the day. Also, I missed a gap right here, I think. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of... Actually, this could have just been a... Maybe not. I was thinking this could just be a hole from the... You know, because this fabric thing here is supposed to have a lot of holes in it. Kind of have a very, 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 very distressed look to it. But, yeah, so... Okay. So I wonder how everything's looking. I know I have my F sketch, yeah. Hopefully not too much left to do for the basic lining, but Obviously I still have some things to worry about. I'm just gonna mark this out. There's supposed to be a little brochure clip thing right here that I didn't draw in, so yeah, I need to line out this tail, and then of course the hat, and probably some of the details here. But yeah, for those who don't know, this was kind of just meant to be a casual sketch, but this is actually an old OC that's been living in my... that's kind of lived in my head for a long time. I guess not super old, but like a few years old. I have a lot of older OCs that are also ignored, but... yeah, it's just kind of a comfort OC, I guess. He's supposed to be like a alchemist type character. Basically his story is he comes from a world with like where everyone kind of has some level of magical ability, but he just didn't have that. He just wasn't born with that ability, so so he just kind of, even though he wasn't born with the ability, he kept trying to find ways to have the ability to use magic, but then he kind of came upon like dark magic, which kind of absorbs it's supposed to run off the life force of different beings, including people, but he didn't necessarily understand that at first, but so he kind of burnt out through his life force. But even when he learned the truth, he tried to find another solution. And apparently there was this extra, because since like there was this magical place, or the place like that was rich in magic, so he tried to take in order to get his life force back, he tried to steal some of the magical energy from that area, but then he got like transformed into this alligator creature. He was just born, he looked like a normal human when he was born like as a normal human, but he accidentally cursed himself, so yeah. And then he became this and got kind of trapped in the magical space. I actually gave this story to another character, but I kind of ignored it, or kind of ignored that character. It's actually one of my... Okay, welcome back. I was just talking about the story of my character. I've been kind of like messing with a similar story for I guess like playing with the idea of a magical swamp person or creature for a while. So I actually have that's why he looks kind of similar to another character, and basically has the same story as older LC that I did. It's actually the character with the similar story was initially meant to be one of my sorry, I'm just trying to, I have a hard time speaking, sorry. Yeah, so that older OC with the similar story was actually meant to be my persona character, like Barya is right now, but I ended up not going through with it because he just couldn't connect with that character in that way, so yeah. But so I'm probably just gonna pretend that former character doesn't exist because I just never used him all that much. But yeah, sorry, he looks cool. Maybe a crocodile wizard or alchemist. Yeah, he's like supposed to be an alchemist type character. Probably just repeat what I said. He comes from a world where everyone, or most people, are born with like some level of magical abilities, but he wasn't. But he like desperately wanted magic, so as a young adult, he kind of fell into dark magic and accidentally burnt through all his most of his life force, because dark magic kind of runs off like life force, someone's like life force in his world, so he kind of And the only way around that, or what was believed the only way around that, was to try to steal the life force from other people, but he didn't want to do that, so he tried to find another solution and discovered kind of this magical swamp that kind of had a bunch of like magical energy flowing in it. So he tried to steal the magical energy from that swamp, but ended up getting turned into this alligator guy. So yeah, he's kind of basically a similar story to another ghost you'll see. I'll just show that character off real quick. But I've been messing with that idea a lot, or this general concept a lot with the character, so yeah, it doesn't have its own folder. This character doesn't, but yeah, it's supposed to be another character called Bulgerus, so yeah, this is the original character that kind of had that similar story, but that wanted to be my persona character, but I just couldn't connect with this character at all, so yeah, I'm probably just gonna move on to letting him have that kind of story. And yeah, I needed as I said, I couldn't connect with that character. So it wasn't until like I designed you know, Varia, what you see here, until where I could like connect to a certain character. So yeah, and pretty unique. Thank you. Sorry if my attention is kind of getting pulled away a lot. I'm just kind of, you know, as you probably know by now, I have a few issues with like splitting my attention. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry, I need to finish this coffee roll pretty quick because it's very close to getting lukewarm. And lukewarm coffee is pretty terrible, so. Ugh. You know, earlier I was thinking of asking if anyone knew any like meats that would taste or go with like potatoes, but then I remembered that like everything goes with potatoes. So, but yeah, I think you probably heard me say it. I got a bunch of leftover potatoes from breakfast, so I'm gonna fry them tomorrow night for my dinner. And hello, Meraki. I see. Sorry, I just kinda not sure what to say. Hopefully you enjoy the stream alright. I'm just kinda... Yeah. My streams are basically just kinda yapping and drawing a character. But yeah. Yeah, French fries. I see. I want to... Yeah, like French fries go with everything, you mean? I mean, I can't really make French fries with them because of I dice them up. Basically, what I do is just dice up the potato. I usually just dice up my potatoes and parboil them, so... But yeah, it's not like deep frying like French fries usually would be, but I'm doing the, you know, just kind of a skillet, fry them on a skillet. Sorry, I was looking for my layer. But yeah, I'm probably gonna, one of the plants I got last Sunday is actually rosemary, so I'm kind of excited to use that. I know I can't use it too much right now because it's still pretty small, but I'm probably gonna still steal a couple of leaves from it. Because I tried one of the leaves like the other day, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this plant. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this plant. What toppings do you usually add with fries? I usually just use ketchup. Sometimes I dip them. Sometimes if I get it from a certain fast food place, you can get like some dipping cheese with it. That tastes good, but a lot of the time I actually eat my French fries kind of plain with salt. I mean, not completely plain, but you know, like salt. I don't normally make French fries at home, so by the way, I just kind of, yeah, I usually just eat them like the potato mash. So sometimes I wonder if I should try to make some fries, but I don't know. Like I've had a casual interest. I had like a casual interest in trying to deep fry things, but I'm kind of scared of doing that because I know I'm gonna like burn myself. Like everyone says, just to drop it in right next to the surface, but even then, it's still like a bunch of splashing. Because I try doing that sometimes with boiling water, and it's like, yeah, I'm not. I have to use a dipping. I have to use like a spoon. And I feel like you probably need a specialized tool for the deep frying. And I don't know if you actually deep fries there, but in Europe or Netherlands, I should say. So sorry if it feels a little but yeah. Okay, need to get back to work on this. Sorry, guys. Try to get more to the more exciting rendering parts. But yeah, I don't normally use a lot of fry toppings. I think in the US, fries with like a ton of toppings on them are called loaded fries. Probably like similar to a loaded potato, which is a baked potato with like a sour cream and bacon bits and a bunch of other things. Sorry, Discord went off. I'm just gonna check that. Someone's just announcing their stream on Discord, so yeah, I probably shouldn't check Discord while I'm streaming with you guys. So sorry about that. Just sometimes I wonder if people are trying to message me, so. I mean, I don't normally get messages on Discord because I don't socialize a lot on there. But yeah, as some of you might know, I do, sorry, as some of you might know, I kind of do a lot of, or I'm doing an art trade with someone, so. Yeah, I guess that's the person I'm kind of was wondering about. So, sorry, and about the loaded potatoes, you know, sour cream, bacon bits, green onions, cheese, and probably a few other things, but that's generally what you see on there. So, I got distracted by Discord. By a little ping. And yeah, we deep fry a lot, and I love putting mayo on fries and snacks. I see. Sorry, yeah. Ugh, sorry. That wasn't super pleasant. Okay. And that sounds interesting. I don't normally eat straight mayo, but I guess sometimes we have special sauces that are mayo based. I think we usually use it for other types of fried foods. So sorry, I just remembered fried pickles, which are pickles that are deep fried, and we have this snack a lot with mayo and onions. So I'll just click that link real quick. And I see. Sorry, I'm just kind of. It looks like I guess a piece of bread with some sort of sauce and cheese in it with onions. Sorry, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but kind of reminds me of a coney dog. So yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there. I heard Americans put everything on ranch. Put on everything ranch sauce. Yeah, a lot of people like to use ranch on on things. I remember like back in like elementary school, I saw a lot of kids eating ranch with their pizza. While I am like a big fan of ranch, I'm not like as hardcore as that, I guess you could say. I mostly use ranch for like salads, so there might have been something else that I used ranch for, but I can't remember. I was actually craving ranch a little while ago, but I never went through with it. Oh my god. Sorry, I was probably thinking of like ranch with like broccoli. I was craving that, but I did forget to buy the ranch, so yeah, I never went through with that. I guess like ranch and broccoli, and then also ranch and sorry, blanking out. Ranch and celery. Yeah, sorry. My brain just kind of stopped working right then. Okay. It's meat, sausage, some kind. I see. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a coney dog a little bit. Which is like a hot dog with chili sauce and onions and sometimes like mustard on them. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure how like popular it is around everywhere. I'm sure you can see it in a variety of places, but yeah, we have I know that two of the varieties in the region they refer to it as like between two of the cities in the state of Michigan. Sorry. I don't know why my brain isn't working. Yeah, there's like the Flint Coney and the Detroit Coney, but I kind of find it hard to believe that it's just kind of exclusive to our state, so I figured they have it in other states as well. But I don't know for sure because I don't travel that often, unfortunately. By the way, have you ever like followed astrology? This seems a little off topic, but I don't know if you would personally follow that, because I know a lot of people look down on it, but I used to be kind of a fan of it because of there's a lot of like mythology behind it that I found interesting, and I kind of like to base characters off the star signs. Though I didn't like believe, like I know it's not like true or anything, but I was kind of into it for a little while. Not so much now, but I was never like deep into horoscopes. And all right, sorry. Wish you luck with whoever you're hoping. Okay. Also, to everyone else, sorry it's taken me so long. I'm a slow person, so. I also need okay, let's just finish this last bit. But yeah, I used to be kind of into astrology, so I was like, I got pretty into like natal charts actually, so because I found that to be pretty interesting, but I was never into like horoscopes or like predictions because I feel like that's a lot more work to follow. I just kind of like the idea of like natal charts. So, but yeah, sometimes I still try to try to use like astrology themes around occasionally. I guess not. It's been a while, but on this, as you might have seen earlier with this character, on his hat, he has He has like cancer on there, so yeah. So yeah, he's like kind of interested in this character, my OC. He's kind of into like into the occult, so that's why he has that there. But I was thinking he's like connected to this, or like the swamp that he's trapped in is kind of eldritch in origin, so he kind of ends up having a somewhat of a ability to kind of connect to other worlds, though he can't be gone for too long. Because in the past he was like hardcore stuck there, but over the past few years he's been able to, you know, connect to the other worlds, including ours, and I guess maybe not literally ours, but the fantasy version of ours. Like as I said before, he's the original concept was supposed to be the original concept of this character was supposed to be kind of somewhat connected to meant to be kind of a VTuber character, so that's why he is that kind of connection. Of course, he's not really a VTuber character now, but also these lines are braids, but I don't feel like drawing a bunch of braid parts. You know, I did that in an image I did back in like September. That took ages, so. And it's supposed to be a little more casual, not like meant to take weeks upon weeks like that one did. Honestly, I feel like that one should have gone by faster, but I just didn't. Okay, let's just kind of... Right now, I'm also adding more volume to some of the lines around here, including trying to get those shapes that I missed, because I feel like I'm missing a few. Like those buttons. Usually I do the line art first, but... Or just not at all. You know, I've been trying to do more digital paintings because I hate line art. But I thought this would look a bit better with the line art. I mean, I guess like my other pieces involve some level of line art, but they're kind of treated as an afterthought. And I see that super spec. Sorry. Astrology is something interesting, but I never really interested in it. The universe is really big, and that's really scary. I see. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I just kind of... My interest was kind of just... a lot of it's mostly involved with natal charts, like, and finding out some of the... Having ideas on how to make, like, OCs based on the star sign or the zodiacs. So, honestly, I think zodiac characters are just really cool, so... I never really got far into designing them, so... Honestly, I think, actually, now that I think about it, my other OC, Val, is actually supposed to have, like, some inspiration or connection to star signs, even though he lives in a fantasy world, so he shouldn't have actually connection to our zodiacs, but I don't really like designing. I don't feel like designing a whole new zodiacs, or... And, the universe is really big, and that's kind of scary, yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. I think part of me just kind of doesn't think about it anymore, but I know as like a little kid, I used to actually be terrified of the idea of black holes coming over. Like, you know, I learned about them when I was pretty young, and I learned that if our sun blows up, we'll get sucked into a black hole. Actually, if the sun blows up, we'll get vaporized, but that's... You know, I think the idea of just kind of having everything... Like, I would have, like, a few nightmares about... Like, for a week, I had, like, nightmares related to black holes, so... Yeah. And that's how I got... Yeah. And that's my first relationship with existential dread. Sorry, I'm just gonna... I still have those buttons to worry about. I'm almost done with this basic line art, I think. Probably won't need to work on it for a while, so... I just need to get these little buttons done. But yeah. Also, as a little kid, I like made a little comic, or tried to make a little comic book about all the planets in the solar system, and basically, like the planets were like sentient, and the main villain was a black hole that wanted to eat all the planets. So, and the main character was Pluto. So, yeah. Funny story. I guess. It wasn't really funny at the time, but, you know. But yeah, I was thinking about, like, my... You know, I was watching a video of someone, like, reading out their old story for their Sonic OC a little while back. Or watching a little series of videos about that. And it kind of reminded me of my old story. So I was thinking about it a little while ago. I kind of wish I knew where it was, because, you know, I do like hearing about people's old characters from when they were, like, tweens. Because it's kind of cute, you know? Kind of wish I remembered where my older stuff was, but, you know, I have no idea. So, okay, I think the line art is done, so let's hide the F sketch, or final sketch, that was the name for it, and I should probably start naming some of these layers, because it's kind of a mess right now. So I'm going to name this layer highlight. You guys can't see it, because my overlay hides that, but yeah. Just gonna hides the layers, but okay. Just gonna call this lips eyeshadow. Eyeshadow. Okay. Sorry. I hope the skin tag is healthy of yours. What I was talking about. I don't think it's like a super serious, but it's getting kind of big, and it's kind of... I think the reason it's causing a lot of pain is just because it keeps getting stuck on things. I actually put a bandage over it just like this morning, and that's been helping a lot actually. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see a doctor for that, I think. Hopefully it can get removed easily. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, it's like in my inner arm, so. And obviously that place rubs a bunch of other things. I say a bunch of other things, but you know, my inner body. So, as you might guess, it causes a lot of stress. Okay. But yeah, so finally we are getting to the... Okay. So, looks like we're getting there. Sorry. I know it's kind of a little tedious to watch that be. I know line art's pretty tedious. At least I personally find it pretty tedious, so. But yeah, it looks like we're finally getting to the shading, which is slightly more interesting. Not sure how deep we'll be going into shading, but... Is it like a birthmark? I wouldn't say so. It started developing I think maybe a year or two ago, and I thought it would be okay because my mom also has a skin tag. Or I remember my mom had a skin tag in a similar spot, so I figured that would be kind of a normal thing. But you know, it's been causing pain recently. I guess most of the time skin tags are like harmless, but you know, it's in a bad spot and it's getting large, so yeah. Switching to the turnip pen, which has a which the stabilization setting is a lot lower. Right now I'm doing some basic shading over the face, so I do have a little bit of shading already, but yeah. I don't make sure to get under the chin right here, because I don't normally draw in the heads in the single, but you know, obviously I need to do more of that, but still. So, you know, I thought it came out mostly alright, but I'm still like not super excited about how it looks, but yeah. Also add some detail to the scales. Okay. But yeah, it's not like a birthmark or anything. That it's just something that kind of formed when it got a little bit older. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna bring out the cheekbone a little bit, but I'm probably gonna try to blend this little section out, so. Because he's not supposed to have, like, his face is like a little bit on the softer side, or it should be. Okay. But yeah, so. I once had a pretty big birthmark on my shoulder, but I got it removed by surgery, and now I don't have it. I see. Yeah, what... was it, like, causing problems for you, or was it just for aesthetics? Because I know some people do that for aesthetics, but I don't really want to pay for that, so... If it's not a big deal, it's just kind of... Personally, I choose to leave it, so... I actually have a weird bump on the end of my pinky finger as well, but it's a lot less intrusive than that skin tag, so we never really got it removed. But yeah, it was on a spot where I couldn't see it very well, so it was a bit of a risk factor for later ages. I see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Sorry, Nita. I think this was originally meant to be more painted, or my drawing right here, but, you know, I think this kind of got me in a little bit of a slow shade mood, but, you know, we'll have to see. I think it's usually the hair that ends up causing a painting to causes me to want to make a painting look, you know, painterly, because, yeah, just I tend to get really involved with the hair rendering. I'm someone who likes, like, long, beautiful hair, so... Yeah, I feel a need to capture that in a lot of my drawings. Of course, like, multicolor hair like this tends to be kind of complicated to do, so yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little quiet. I'm just a little bit in focus. But yeah, you know, at least nothing bad came of your birthmark. Okay, let's get this area. I need to drink more of my water. I've also been trying to use more of my water flavor things. Like, there's these little containers with a liquid, and you can use it to flavor your water. The ones I got are also meant to help improve hydration, so yeah. I bought them a while back because I wanted to cut down on soda, but and then I kind of just forgot about them for a little while, but yeah, just basically drink less pop or soda. Okay. Oops, pause that on accident. Sorry, I need to get that I need my YouTube to get going again, because as you know by now, or to anyone who's new here, YouTube tends to pause that, and I'm not really sure how to make it not do that, so I just gotta make sure to... I use YouTube to get my music, so... rather than Spotify. I know other people like to use Spotify, but I've never used Spotify before. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of... I haven't done shading like this for a while. I've been doing painterly for them. Doing more painterly than slow shading, so... feels kind of weird to do it like this. Also, I haven't lowered the opacity quite yet, so yeah. I usually try to shade in the cheekbones, but you know. Okay. Okay, sorry. Kinda a little less chatty at the moment. I'm still not sure what to do about this dude's eye. It's kinda not thrilled about how it looks right now, but you know, I can't decide between purple or yellow for his eye. You know, it'd probably help separate him from Scylla, my merman character, Swamp Mer character, who also came out from a similar Scylla actually came from a similar creative process, or not process, but I guess you could say process, but the similar concepts, so his backstory isn't really supposed to be the same. Yeah, Scylla was actually also meant to be my VTuber persona, but I also couldn't really connect to him for that while. So, yeah. Anyways, still need to keep forgetting to do these other parts. Whoops. Let's get this cast shadow right here. And I guess not cast shadow, but ambient occlusion would count as. Yeah, so. I'm not sure how much people are actually interested in hearing me yap about OCs, but I know other people do that more, but yeah, sometimes I feel a little worried about telling my character stories or not, or if people would actually be interested in that kind of thing, so yeah. I think that's part of the reason why I don't normally draw or I'm kind of bad about drawing OCs, but also I tend to give my OCs a bit more complicated designs. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about how hard the cheap one looks here, so. Okay, I'm just gonna reset a bit. Make it a lot more subtle. Okay. And we get maybe a little more on the cheek area. Yapping is fun. I guess. Just dawned on me that I forgot where the color scheme the lighting comes from. Oh well. I'll deal with it later. I think it's coming from this side. Oh my god, I'm zooming out too much. Okay. Yeah, I think it's coming from here. And I forgot that one bit. Okay, let's go to the clothing layer, and I just need to fill this diamond in real quick, because I forgot. This little clip that holds on his jacket thing, cloth. I don't know, it's just there for fashion at this point. Okay. I mean, part of me likes the more simplified version, but usually I end up bringing it back once I actually develop the other parts of the image more. So, you know, let's just get some shading on this let's get some shading on these clothes real quick. So let's see. I'm gonna give this a bluer shadow. So, and I'll start marking out the places. And I'll just go ahead and use my concept art brush or concept paintbrush. Fortunately, I don't remember who made this, but it was a free brush I got from years ago. Okay, forgot to put that on multiply. But I'm glad you appreciate the yapping super. But yeah, so sometimes I just feel a little uncomfortable sharing talking about my OCs and the little stories I make up in my head. Okay, so I'm just blocking in some shadows right now, and just kind of go over this. Okay, and you can see one of the shapes of the lines here that there's probably a shadow right there. Okay, all right, so we just add a little bit of a shadow right here. Probably don't want to worry about getting too detailed, because I back in the day kind of had a habit of just getting a little too detailed with the wrinkles. I think that kind of affected the piece in the art in a negative way. So bro is mogging. Look at the sharp jawline. He could cut paper with that. Maybe. Sorry, I'm just scratching my nose real quick. All right. Sorry, I'm just gonna... Okay, let's get these areas under the hair. Okay. Under the hair and beside the... Probably gonna need to get more water pretty soon too. I think my supply here is getting a bit low. Okay. Alright, alright. Over here. Okay. But also, yeah, for just saying this for those who might be new here, next week I am going to, or maybe next Friday actually, depending on how things go, I am probably going to start not probably, but I will be starting some mermaid art, so just thought I'd throw this out here. I usually I'm trying to focus more on digital paintings, because I think that, but yeah, this is, I'm not sure if I qualify this as a painting, but yeah, I usually try to do more like painterly looking art, and I'm gonna get back to that next Friday when May actually starts. So at least hopefully I do. Magic is fun and reminds us of the beautiful mind of the human to think about ideas and magic. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I always had like a pretty invested interest in fantasy when I was younger. As a kid specifically, I was really into fairy tales and that kind of thing. So yeah, I was just kind of, I liked reading about fairy tales and like different ideas using said fairy tale tropes. That was what I was really into. Sorry, I just noticed I forgot the line art in a certain part. So okay. It's a long straight looking line here, so I'm just gonna do it on a separate layer real quick. So yeah, I forgot a section here. That was the same color as the line art, so yeah. I think with how similar the head looks to, or the line and hat color are, I might be able to get away with being a little bit messier with this line. Yeah, I forgot the tip here. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, my eye itches a little bit, so. You know what, let's just get that. Okay. But yeah, I was a big fan of fantasy, specifically fairy tales, and I actually didn't. And I always, sorry, and I always kind of made like fantasy characters. I actually used to be into like roleplay when I was in high school too. High school and like early community college. But I couldn't really keep up with the. I just had really like low energy when I was younger, so I just failed to keep up with everything. But especially when the school year was going, and I also had like a lot of issues with technology when I back then too. Yeah, usually something went wrong with the my computer. Usually the ability to just like the monitor. There would be issues with that. And then I had to like plug it into something as eventually I would have to like plug it in with something, but yeah, and I wouldn't be able to make digital art for a while, so which really sucked. Yeah, I'm also a little worried about my current computer because of my past with technology, but still alive. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna. It always helps to act like you aren't looking at the computer so it loads faster. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not really like speed that's the issue, it's just like my computer kind of has. It's usually like hardware issues. So. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm so quiet. It's just rendering could take a little more concentration. Ooh, sorry. Okay. Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna start blocking in some of these shadows. So. Just fill it in. Probably try to get away with not using lasso tool right now. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we just keep filling it in. Looks like these buttons are on a separate layer from the rest of the clothing, so I have to keep mind of that. I have a layer called Deco, so that's probably where a lot of the decorative elements of this design. Sorry, my voice is starting to fail. Not sure why. It's good. Felt like I was doing great last Friday, actually, so not sure what's going on right now, but it's not like serious pain at the moment. Okay. Like, Tuesday's like the best day for me to do a long stream, but always feels like I'm never able to go on for as long as I do with like Fridays. Kind of weird. I usually have to do other stuff on Fridays too. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and go on for a few hours though, because I really need to like increase my stream stamina. Okay. Also forgot to shade the tail now that I think about it. Like his little tail right here. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get too detailed with this art piece. Just having it done is probably a decent achievement for myself. Yeah, sometimes I also can get like way too into the rendering process. So, like adding a little highlight at the edges of things that ends up taking a long time. Of course, I might do that a little bit, but you know, probably for like the hair layer, like I was doing for which is what I'm working on with this piece right now. You see these like highlights on his hair. Yeah, I might try to do that with this character, but I have to develop the image a bit more. Okay. Also okay, this counts, so just kind of fill this in. Sorry, I'm not coming up with the best topics right now. Just trying to do my work here. Okay, this is affected too, so let's get some shadow right there. I'm still a little worried about getting that tilt-tower. Yeah, they said that Grandpa has to repair it. I just don't know how long they'll take. Haven't really heard any news about it. And I'm probably not going to shade this for stylistic reasons. At least that will be what I say. Also just really dark. Yeah. Okay. So just added a little bit of ambient occlusion right there, so. But yeah, I can't wait to start planting things out. Yep, already got a few sprouts ready. Also got some carrot seeds the other day. One of them is supposed to be a rainbow blend, so you got like a wide variety of different carrot colors. So, and also got some normal carrots. And I think I'm going to try and well, my plan is to like you can get like from what I heard, you're able to get like 2 different harvests of carrots per year. So I was thinking of doing the one packet for this time of year, and then later in the year I can like replace it with other types of carrots. Yeah, the main issue is just choosing what kind of carrot I should grow first. I'm probably going to do the rainbow blend first, though, because then in like later fall I can probably have our normal carrots and use it for a bunch of pot roast, because I like pot roast quite a bit. It's not really a summer food, though. I think a lot of people eat it anyway. Eat it during summers anyway. Alright. Alright. Let's get this area real quick. Oh boy. Also forgot to shade the hand. Oops. So I'm just blocking these out. So yeah. I don't know if I talked about this yet, alright, but I saw some, but when I visited the garden center, they had the marigolds ready to sell. So I'm a little excited about getting those, but I'm gonna just wait until the things are actually tilled out. So, buying the current sprouts was probably a really stupid idea, so I just got really impatient, so I wanted to get some. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that until, like, things are tilled out. So, oops. But yeah, I saw some, like, really, really pretty marigolds there. They're called the Safari Marigold, and I quite like the shape of them. I just don't know how good they are for, like, attracting, or repelling the things you want to repel or whatever. But yeah, I was tempted to get a big pan of those too, but yeah, as I said before, I need to wait. Probably gonna get a bunch of yellow ones, because my plans for, like, the flowers I want to add tend to fall into the purple/yellow groups, and then some, like, white. I think the one exception are the zinnias, which are more like pink and green. Mostly pink varieties, but I have my green zinnias too. Yeah, so trying to, okay, let's just get the general shot over here. All right. Okay. Might need to pop in a cough drop too, by the way, so. I should probably stay zoomed in here. Once I get this hand done, or get some shading done on this hand, I'm gonna take a short break just to get some more water, and yeah, I think I just need to worry about water, so it won't be that long, just like a few minutes, most likely. Unless the animals act like little dummies. Okay, so the hand, but then I'm doing this too. Oh boy. But yeah, and then hopefully soon I'll be able to start doing the hair. Hopefully it's not too boring to watch, but I do tend to get really into the hair part. I also need to, like, blend this down a bit more so it looks nicer. Okay. I'm just gonna marking out a little more shadows on this end. Okay. Alright. So yeah, time for gotta get my cough drop. So I'll just set this on the BRB screen, and Yeah, I'll be back pretty soon. Probably gonna get more flavored water too. So, see ya. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just need to keep my throat from drying out. Also, I need to remember that. Almost forgot the cough drop, so. But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. So. Just a little. Oh, and I missed it. Oh, there's just a mess on the floor. Whoops. I'll deal with that later, maybe. Water. Looks like I've been going on for 1.5 hours, so just gotta check that. But yeah, I'm just gonna blend out these shadows real quick, and then I'll, with the wet bleed blender, and I'll start carrying on to some other stuff pretty soon. When I say other stuff, of course I mean the hair, but yeah. Yeah, sorry, this isn't the most exciting stream. Just kinda... just kinda... Hopefully the mermaid streams might be a little more interesting. Okay, blend these out. Okay. And we blend out these pants. Okay. There's probably some areas that need a little more development, but yeah. Okay. Let's just get some shading right under this, right here. You basically need to remember the ambient occlusion. Remember the ambient occlusion. Yes, it's technically more like cast shadows for some of this stuff, but you know. It's not going off the line a little too much. Okay. 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 We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Eventually. See how far I can take this piece. Alright. 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 First gotta get the cast shadow right here. And on this edge. Usually add a little bit of a shadow on these edges like this, because to make it look a little more 3D. Of course, it can get a little bit tedious, but you know. And then got this fingerless glove right here. Okay. I think they missed a few areas, so just get the interiors of the shadow a bit more bit smoothed out. Also, this should probably be further in. It's just what I get for not planning things out. I still need to plan out the third piece for Mermaid. So I got the base pieces done, but like I say I got the base painting done, but only one has the actual base painting done. This is almost done. I just need I'm just smoothing out the shapes right here, so. And you know, I was thinking about doing a mirror piece because that sounds kind of interesting. And I heard that one of the prompts from Mermaid is actually a like mirror or something, but I'm not sure. I kind of had an idea for this character, but he's not really a merman, so, or he doesn't turn into a merman, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do it for Yala. His name is Yalamor, by the way, so the red-haired guy. Okay, I keep zooming in and out, trying to figure out what to do. Okay. Yeah, I should do the hair, so I'll just name this layer Shed, because I need short for shading. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, let's get this, okay, I realized to call those highlights, but they're... I guess in one way they are highlights, but not like the art term for highlight, the art term for lighting. So I'm a little worried about how future me. So maybe I can call it C highlights, like color highlights. Okay. Alright, so, and then we can have the shading layer, so. Okay, multiply, yep, okay. Multiply is the second one in there, but I forgot, so I just ran through the entire list, so I'll call it, oops, turn this into a clipping mask. And now we enter my realm. Okay. Just gonna lower the opacity real quick. What about this? Could be a fun shading color right there. Alright. Just doing the eyebrows real quick because I tend to forget that. Okay. And we do this. By the way, there's actually technically both his eyes are supposed to be uncovered, but you know, the angle of his face kind of would have made that difficult to draw the eye, so I ended up not doing that. But yeah, it's supposed to be uncovered, but there's like an eyeshadow. I thought it'd be a cool design choice, but I haven't really gotten around to that yet. I'll have to deal with that in another piece. No, maybe I could even like enter him into the art fight, because that's coming up in July, I believe. Yeah, July. You know, I joined it last year, so yeah. Funnily enough, it actually blew up because on TikTok, I think. So, I don't actually have a TikTok account, so I thought it was kind of a little bit crazy that it happened. Because I remember the reason I knew about Art Fight is because some people I know or I knew did Art Fight, or does Art Fight, I should say. Like someone that was part of a RP group that was in, like DA, like when I used to be really active on DA, there were like RP groups on there, and I remember that someone who was in that group with me took part in an art fight and kind of showed some of the little pixel animations they were doing for it. And it sounded kind of interesting, but I didn't have the energy for that kind of thing, so I kind of remembered it from the past, so yeah. And then I tried getting into it last year, and it was kind of fun, but definitely like killed me a little bit at the end of the month. No, I think I got like oh no. It's on the wrong layer. Okay. Hold on, guys. Is this the lining layer? Lining, or is it close? It's close. Okay. It's not a big deal if it's on close then. I was kind of worried it would be on the... I was kind of worried it was on, hold on. Oh god, clothing's above the layer. Okay, never mind, it's a pain. Okay. Still not a big deal. If it were on the lining layer, I'd probably cry, because it would be very annoying. Have to like, carefully not hit the line. The line art, I should say. But yeah, I got it. Okay. So we go to shadow, back to the shading layer. Okay, so and we get this in. So we add these details here. I think that look kind of interesting. All right. Well, I'm back again. I'm so sorry. I keep going and coming. That's okay. I appreciate that you come here in the first place. Did you miss anything? Nothing too crazy. I went on a break to get water, but you know, obviously nothing real exciting there. I think I was just yapping to myself. I started doing the hair shading, but yeah, I think you're the only one who's like chatting right now, so yeah, nothing like too crazy. Do I have a favorite color? I'd say my favorite color is turquoise, so kind of a maritime blue color. I also like green and purple too, of course. You know, I am like Birdie and Ghost, so obviously I like green too. Of course, I kind of enjoy all colors, or almost every color. But, you know, turquoise is definitely my favorite. What's your favorite color, by the way? I also remember back in the day, people had, like, people try to, like, guess people's like, personality based on what their favorite color was. You know, I was kind of interested in that kind of stuff, too, when I was younger. It's probably not really the most sound psychology out there, so. Blue is a very cool color. I see. Yeah, blue is pretty nice. Do you prefer blue-green, or yeah, blue-green or blue-violet, or just like blue-blue? Out of curiosity. Yeah, sorry if that's an annoying question. I just kind of was curious. There's a decent variety of blues out there, you know? Like, 1/4 of the color wheel, or not the general color wheel, but the color wheel that they use for digital art is actually like blues, so technically cyan and then rich royal blue. So yeah, there's a lot of varieties out there. There's a teeny tiny section for yellow. A bit of a darker blue, but I don't really have a name of it. I see. Yeah, so my guess would probably be like I guess it sounds like probably royal blue or navy blue. Sorry if it's not. I'm just gonna turn the music down slightly, by the way. It was just getting a little loud for me. Sorry about that. But yeah. Of course I just say that because the local value, which every color has a value, or like an inherent value to it, is actually pretty dark, so kind of what I just assumed. You as a sea ghost are expert in looks. What would you rate this sea ghost? Oh, he looks like someone I don't want to mess with. Yeah, I remember the Flying Dutchman. I don't remember SpongeBob super well because I haven't watched it in a long time, but yeah, I used to watch it a fair amount because, you know, Nickelodeon had it on a lot. But yeah, fellow green ghost. Yeah, now I'm kind of thinking about Pirates of the Caribbean too. I don't know if you ever watched those movies, but I remember like being a really big fan of that when I was younger. Because I remember the undead pirates in the first movie, and there's also Davy Jones, who's I think counts as undead, but he turns into like but of course he turns into like a crazy octopus guy, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I like the first three a lot. I think I enjoyed the fourth one too when it came out, though. I know a lot of people aren't as thrilled deep into that, though. You know, the fourth one has mermaids, so you get special points for that. I also remember playing the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean games back in the day too with my brother. He kind of drove me crazy back then, though, because he wasn't very nice back then. The old SpongeBob was awesome. Yeah. Oh, I find SpongeBob now really weird. I don't really like the new episodes. It lost its magic and innocence, really. Yeah, I think a lot of folks out there feel a bit similar. But yeah, I remember some of the older episodes. I don't think I was there for it. I think those first episodes came out in the 90s, but yeah. I guess some of the weirdness was going on even when I was still a kid. I know there's like a lot more like gross out humor when I was younger. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of I'm not a fan of gross out humor, by the way, so. Or images that get a little too graphic. Like as I might have mentioned to you before, I'm pretty squeamish about like medical stuff. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of drawing these out. But it was still kind of a childhood staple in a way. Because as I said before, it's you know, it's been around for a long time, so. Alright. Okay, let's start blending out these hair shadows real quick. Alright, alright. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little quiet again. For some reason, his hair kind of reminds me of a watermelon. Like, I didn't it before, but now that when I started shading it, I kind of started thinking of watermelon. Do you like watermelon? I like watermelon fruit, but I don't like watermelon candy or anything like that. Sort of the opposite way with lemons. I don't like eating raw lemons, but lemon candy is my favorite. Oh yeah, and one of the herbs I got, one of the other herbs I got last Sunday is actually called lemon thyme, and it does taste quite a bit like lemon. So hope to use that for recipes. Yeah, I got it because it was a little bit taller than the other thyme they were selling, so I suddenly got kind of worried about it. Worried about how high it could grow, because I didn't want to get it blocked out by the leaves of the other plants. Though I guess I could probably put it on the edge of the garden, maybe. I don't know, I feel like a lot of the edges that I'm planning on putting down are on the north side of the garden, so... You know, as someone who lives in the northern hemisphere, you gotta kind of be conscious of that. North is the darker side, I guess. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. What was my favorite childhood series or movie? Watermelon is tasty. I once grew my own watermelon, but it was really small. Yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of cool. I'm not sure how to get a big watermelon, though. Probably one of those veggies that have to water constantly, but... I'm not sure if I'd ever grow a watermelon, though, but... Maybe in, like, the long future. I'd probably want to... Personally, I'd probably try to grow pumpkins before watermelon. Just because I just feel like a pumpkin plant would look really cool, but sorry, that was off topic. Favorite childhood series or movie? Honestly, I can't really remember that well. Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and Treasure Planet were my favorite movies, though. I used to... Honestly, my favorite cartoons kind of just jumped around over time. I liked Fairly Odd Parents when I was younger. For a little bit, I liked Ed, Ed and Eddie. And there was a show called Shaolin's Showdown, which I actually liked a lot. So just trying to remember. Yeah, I just can't seem to remember the what cartoon specifically I was super into. I remember like watching a lot of those like those Disney cartoons that are based on the some of their movies, because for a while they were making like TV shows based off some of their older movies. So I remember watching that as like a little kid. I also kind of enjoyed the Garfield show for a while. Of course, there weren't like a lot of heavy-hitting cartoons for a period of time, and at some point I kind of just started mostly watching anime over like shows on TV, so... I think I remember liking Totally Spies a lot too, but that was like when I was really young because it kind of stopped just having the show on TV. There's also Courage the Cowardly Dog, which didn't actually scare me much when I was like really little, but as I got older and kind of understood the concept of death, I was like I started getting actually a little more creeped out when I was older. As a kid, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's oh yeah, just I guess things happen. And then when I was older, it's like, oh god, that guy actually died, didn't he? But yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of... I was just thinking of my comic from back then again, because kind of wanted to draw you like what my little characters look like, because it should take like maybe like 5 seconds. Okay, here's the main body. And here are the eyes, and this is what I drew for my childhood comic from 3rd grade. So... this is the main villain. And I can't help but feel like this kind of somewhat carried over to my more modern designs, as you will see. Right here. Looks cool. Maybe. Because then eventually I started drawing, because I drew some, because I also later on, when I was a bit older, like 6th grade, I also kind of just made like short comics with this character style. But then I did the anime version of these characters, so... and as you will see, I made them really, really big eyes. Sorry if this seems off topic, but I feel like this kind of design tropes somehow continue to this. So, yeah. I mean, it's probably not quite that direct. I just have an affinity towards simple designs with just big giant eyes. Okay, let's just get back to the actual drawing. All right. Okay. So I'm lowering the opacity right there, and I will go ahead and just kind of start adding. That's the vector layer. Don't want that. Yuck. Okay. So, all right. So I am just gonna do a basic lighting layer with some overlay, and I will give it a lighter color, so maybe like a lime green color. Sorry, my hair. And just give it a simple that moved. Sorry. Just, no, around the front area. Oh my god, this isn't quite going quite as one. Yeah, this front area would be lighter, lower the opacity, so it's more subtle. But then next I will go to the highlights, and this is where things get kind of... so add glow. No, make it a cooler green. Highly saturated, and alright. So, and let's see. Okay. Maybe a little less saturated actually. Yeah. Okay, this works. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to get back to work. So we add the highlights like this. And thankfully it looks like it's accounting for the colors underneath it, so I color so I add a light color around these edges, which is what I like to do generally. Okay. And yeah, and just keep doing this for a while. Okay. Okay. Alright, alright. Yeah, it's not... doesn't look super clean, but oh well. Okay. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to work with like multicolor hair, I think. Okay. Alright, alright, right. I'm probably gonna have to lower the saturation of this highlight layer too, because it looks a little crazy. Alright, I'm not sure if I'm thrilled about these markings. Okay, gonna be a... Yeah, so when I normally work with hair, I usually have a general base layer, or if it's multicolored, it's just kind of, you know, still treat it as a general base layer, but because it's usually just a big mix of colors. But his hair, the tips of his hair is what's different, so I'm not quite used to that shape. I guess I'll still try to make it work out. Okay. Alright, alright. Yeah, this looks kind of messy, doesn't it? Okay, how about I clean the edge right here? Okay. Erase this little section because it looks a little odd right now. Have to deal with that one later, I think. Alright, yeah, so I usually put the highlights on the hump of the hair, so. Okay. This area looks a little more clear, so I'll softly add some highlights. Shoving my feet. I just looked at my model and looked kind of crazy. They all look like plant vampires, green hair and white skin. You made a whole new race of creatures. Maybe. I just like this specific shade of... I guess I just like these color combinations. Usually I have white skin to show that they're not really human. Okay. Okay. Alright. But yeah, I felt like my model was looking kind of crazy. Yeah, I just had my face like really shoved into the... Yeah, because I just had my face like really shoved into my tablet screen. So let me just move forward again. Okay, now I feel like this... I think this like specific section is going to give me a lot of grief. I kind of want to play try playing Elden Ring again, but I don't think I have the time. And also, I just really suck at games, so I also get very scared easily. Do I have a fun fact? Okay. Just looking at my rock collection. Seeing if I can come up with anything. I think in like the northern peninsula of Michigan, I think it's like one of the only few locations that had a copper that was just like showed us like came out as like lumps. I'm not sure what to describe it, but like like was able to just be collected in its native form. Like usually you have to mine ore for copper, but the copper was just kind of already looks like that. But of course I could be wrong, but kind of hurt when I was still kind of more interested in general geology. I think I might have heard that. Now that I remember, the community college I went to actually had a little geology museum, but it was only open for so long, and they didn't really open it on winters, unfortunately. Which really sucked. But yeah, they had a bunch of like varieties of rocks. They actually had a mammoth skull there, because it was just kind of given to them, but because the people who had it thought it was just another type of woolly elephant type creature, but then they realized it was an actual like mammoth skull. But they kept it obviously because it's a kind of a valuable fossil. Ever heard of Wood Wide Web? No, I have not. Is it an internet for lumberjacks? Okay. Wood Wide Web is a community. Oh yeah, I thought you were making a joke right there. The Wood Wide Web is a communication of fungi like mushrooms who fuse their roots on tree roots. They start feeding off the tree roots and communicate with the tree. Yeah, I actually heard of that. I think we talked about it like on a different stream about how trees and mushrooms communicate with each other. But yeah, I remember hearing about that from like a documentary a while back. So. Oh, we did? I guess I have memory loss on you. Oh. Maybe. Of course, I forget a lot of things too, so probably just busy with life. Sorry, I'm just kind of... Time to go into retirement on a young age. Yeah, fortunately. Time to go to a retirement home, Gramps. Or Grandma. Sorry, I don't know if you're male or female, or is non-binary or something. Sorry if I'm wrong. I think I'm going to go to need to take another quick break. Need to go to the restroom, and Just kind of get more water, I think. Kind of drink through it. I'm male. I see. Okay. I'll keep that in mind then. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. But yeah, I'll BRB real quick, so I'll... hopefully not too long, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah. Alright, see ya. Alright, I'm back. Just give me a quick moment to just check on something, and yeah. Alright, yeah, just let me... Okay, I accidentally turned the mic off again. Okay, alright, so... Yep, got that settled, so... Yeah, so, as I said before, I'm not sure how detailed this will be yet. I kind of want it to look passable, but... I can't really spend too much time on this piece. So, can I... Yes, the right layer. Sorry, I just got worried for a second. Yes, so... Okay. Alright. Alright. So I'm just kinda... Okay. I feel like this highlight looks a little too different from the rest of the image, so... Yeah, I think just part of me feels a little unsure about the handling things, but as I said before, I don't want to spend like too much time on here. Probably treat this as a lighting, so lower the opacity somewhat. Maybe not that much, but yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's coming out as nice as that one other piece I've been working on last night. Yeah, I feel like this is looking nicer than the other one. But yeah, so art in June might include a lot of like character sheets, by the way, or me trying to draw character sheets, because I'm probably going to try and take part of Art Fight again. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about that, but it's basically Art Fight is a thing where you kind of make gift art for a lot of different people, and I took part in it last year and kind of spent a crap ton of time on it, but I probably won't spend quite as much time on it because I was like almost ready for like an art burnout, but yeah, I still kind of want. I'd still like to try and take part in it. At least get like more characters. An excuse to draw more like character of my OCs, I should say. Especially like characters that are related to my other character stories. Like I need to draw out like one of my characters actually has a daughter, so I need to draw her out. At least how she looks. She's supposed to look now. Okay. Let's just add some lighting to these right here. So yeah, I should probably draw her out. I think other characters have people related to them. Honestly, I have a whole, like, I used to try and do world building, but I haven't really done that for a while, so... I kind of just focused on one country, because that's where my OCs lived. And I felt a little bad for not developing it other countries more, but, you know... Because that world was originally just meant to be the home to another character of mine, so... Or my oldest C who got revamped into another type of character. Okay. Yeah, I think this might be enough. I need to like lower the intensity though. Maybe I can bring up the overlay again. Okay, just lower it a bit. And I can probably add another layer for absolute highlights. Honestly, it feels like there's more I could do, but, you know, not right now. Maybe just define some of the shadows on these bangs here, but yeah, so... I feel like I should add some more lighting to other sections real quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to think what I'm supposed to do next. Sorry, yeah. Need to name these layers real quick. Light 1, light 2. Yep. I always have like a crap ton of layers, by the way, so not sure how many. Not sure what the count is right here, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Okay, I want to like lighten these clothes a bit, so I'm gonna do it on the overlay. I hit the wrong layer mode. Ugh. Okay. So I'm gonna choose a warmer color that's a bit lighter. Okay, I need to be maybe a little less saturated. Okay. And just it's gonna be me choosing colors. Honestly, this one's okay. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I can try a bluer version, and I can just mix them together. See how they look against each other. Yeah, I'll just use both of them. That can also add a visual interest, though. Just having like two different colors playing around with each other. Okay. So I'm marking out the lighter areas. Often I'd probably like try to just use an airbrush, but I thought I'd define some of these areas a bit more, so. At least marked around the areas that would be highlights, I think. Okay. Gotta rub my nose real quick. Okay. By the way, I think I probably could have asked this earlier, but are you reading anything particularly good right now? I know you mentioned that you preferred info books, but was wondering if you have what you were reading specifically now, or are you just doing like school stuff for like school? I was wondering if I should continue the Vampire Hunter D books right now, or just take a break with another books or another series. I actually I have a couple of books that are just like short stories, so maybe I could like look into that for a bit, or try reading those for a bit. One of them I thought would be like a graphic novel, but it ended up being an anthology of short stories, because there's a artist who I like who does like art for a comic series, and I saw her art, so I kind of assumed that they made another like graphic novel or something, but it was just a collection of short stories. So, but yeah, I need to get to that book too. And there's also recently a collection of horror short stories, which had a short story that I was kind of looking to read for a while, called The Anatomy Lesson, I think, by Cody Goodfellow. And I heard it's supposed to have like a Bloodborne feel to it. I've been for a long time, I've been trying to find books that have that Bloodborne feel. So, because I was always like a big fan of the vibe of Bloodborne. Sorry, I read one time Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. It's really dark and it made me cry. It was legendary, worth reading. Yeah. I heard of it, but I haven't read it yet, so. Yeah, I know that's like a classic book right there. But yeah, I heard that was like a pretty depressing book. I gotta go to the barber soon. My hair is getting too long, so gotta go full short again. I see. Oh, I wish you luck with the barber. Uh, but yeah, so. I'm just gonna keep working on this, probably. Okay. Okay. All right. I made a nice appointment. Oh, she comes in a week. Oh. Oh, okay. I thought you were going, like, soon. Sorry. But yeah. But yeah, I do wish you luck on the hair appointment. Yeah, so. Haven't really done much stuff with, like, appointments in general for a while. I know I mentioned the doctor's appointment, but yeah. Haven't really seemed to... Sorry, I'll just... yeah, when I sent it, I realized it was confusing. Yeah, sometimes that happens, so don't worry about it. Okay. Do you often go to the barber? Not really. I just keep my hair long, so... I do need to get a hair trim sometime soon, though. I don't usually need to go out there, because, as I said, long hair. Okay, it's a little too blue right here, so... Right now I'm gonna start lighting these pants a bit. But yeah, I keep my hair long, so I don't need a... So I don't really visit the barber. Honestly, I just don't like people touching my hair, so kind of why I don't really go that often. Yeah, but sorry, I'm just gonna quiet again. I'm just gonna blend this lighter area out. Okay, now I'm going to try to lighten some of these leather sections. I think one of the big things I kind of struggled with this character design is just kind of figure out his color scheme. I know I wanted like purple and green, but I wasn't sure how to handle it. I also tend to struggle a bit with like choosing the color for leather because, you know, I'm sure you like seen leather before. It's kind of a, you know, it's brown usually, sometimes gray or black, but sometimes I need to like be careful at choosing what your neutral colors are. So I've been trying to kind of mix it with the other brighter colors. That's kind of been my technique for that kind of thing. Just gonna blend this out, push the color around a bit. Okay. I always get really nervous at barbers and start smiling hard. It's funny to see. Oh, I see. Yeah, the hairstylist can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Usually not super satisfied with how they handle my hair either. Oops. Zoomed out the wrong way. But yeah, oh, why not? Do you have bad barbers? Just not really not really crazy how they handle it. I actually, since my hair is long, I don't actually go to barbers. I go to just the salon. So it's a little bit, I think it might be a little bit different, but you know. But yeah, usually immediately after, I feel like my hair looks a little weird, but you know, it tends to go back to normal pretty well. All right. It's not like I get complicated hairstyles or anything. I usually just want to like trim. You know, when he said you smile when you're nervous, that kind of reminds me of here. There's actually that trait kind of reminds me of reminded me of an anime called Fire Force, because the main character kind of does the same thing, I think. Yeah. I haven't really watched that in like a long time though. But yeah, it just kind of made me think of that. I need to blend this out. I forgot to blend out the hat, I think. Okay. No mohawks? Nah, no mohawks. Nope. Is a barber different from a salon? I don't know if, how it goes with, like, the Netherlands, but, usually the salon, or I think salons tend to focus on more complicated hairstyles, generally. And barbers tend to be a little bit, tend to do, like, more simple hairstyles, so kind of depends on what you want for your hair. I think barbers might be cheaper too, though, so. Oh, sounds logical, yeah. Okay. So I'm just kind of slowly working on this. Yeah, I kind of hope this comes out okay. Just blend this out. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Need it. Sorry, stretching. No, I just positioned. I see. Yeah, if you couldn't tell by what I tend to draw, I like just prefer long hairstyles. So, considering I give almost all my characters long hair, just love our long locks. Long locks fam. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking things through. Okay. I think I need to erase some of this right here because it's a little messy. I'm just gonna probably isn't realistic for the belt to be like this thick looking, but this is kind of how I just add volume, make it look like things have volume in my art. Like I try to make edge shadow, try to imply edge shadows, I should say. But yeah, so it is starting to look like a lot more finished. I shouldn't say finished, but it feels, I guess it kind of looks like it's getting there now that I have like lighting on these clothes. Of course, there's like still areas that I'm kind of missing, so a little frustrating. Okay. Alright, so I need to get some lighter colors for this. Try to keep myself from adding too many details, because if I get too deep into doing these like small details, it'll take me like a lot longer to finish this than what I really want. Because as I said before, you know, mermaid's coming, so gotta account for that. Probably need to add more lighting and shadow to these to these metal bits. So okay, now I think about it, I still need to get these necklaces. Sorry, I'm just keep trying to light it up. Don't want it to be too noticeable, but you know, I'm also going to try to ignore these crunchies like right here, because I don't want to, just don't feel like it. I got this one from Google. It looks a bit like it, but the top is shorter, so I can grow it for 3 months. You know, looks nice. Yeah. Also, being able to grow it out sounds nice. Hold on, I need another cough drop. Oops. I'm actually going to erase the shadows right here, so the reason I'm doing that is because it's supposed to be a gem, I think. Actually, now I'm wondering if it was supposed to be turquoise. Technically, turquoise is a gem, but it's not like transparent, but you know, I'm not going to think about it too much, so just don't want to deal with that. Okay. Okay, just lighten the bottom right here. It'll be a slightly transparent gem. Okay, and then you add some shading down at this area right here. And then get the lighting, and there. Okay. All right. Should probably do something similar with this potion right here. Yes, gets affected, so just kind of lighten the bottom because it's transparent. But yeah, the hairstyle looks nice. Sorry, I think we're kind of run out of things you know, topics to chat about. I've been forgetting to write down that list of things I could talk about. But as I said before, nothing too crazy has been happening to me. I guess I could say I've been thinking about adding, you know, putting the broccoli sprouts out in the, outside again, so it can get the airflow. The problem is, the current problem is it's like very windy right now, so I'm a little worried about doing that. You know, I don't want to getting hurt from being blown around, but I also want it to get that airflow. Yeah, it's just I look outside and it's like, it looks like the wind is like blasting away. So yeah, I'm still wondering what I should do. I think they're starting to like get their first leaves. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but yeah, they're starting to get their first like real like proper leaf, because so far it's just those like sprout leaves. Usually, like, it's recommended that you put out your broccoli when they have their first like two when they have like the first two true leaves, it's when you can like put them outside. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of excited for it to just grow it. Hopefully it grows in a sane time. It's not really supposed to have it inside for too long, but which is why I'm trying to take it outside. But yeah, we'll have to see. Should probably take another photo of it sometime soon. Because I haven't taken a pic in a long time. I guess not like that long, but like a week. Also, I'm thinking maybe I should just go ahead and grow some cilantro again. Or coriander, you know. Same thing, but I'm just not the biggest fan of how it tastes, but you know, it's supposed to repel pests. You know, like rabbits. Apparently rabbits don't like cilantro, but yeah. You know, like I still have the seeds from last year. You know, I tried to give them away to some people, but like no one's taking them, so it's like yeah, so I'm kind of stuck with the cilantro seeds. Yeah, like I tried to offer it to a coworker of mine who's also into gardening, but apparently he has like a giant bag of cilantro seeds. And you know, I tried to give it to my grandmother, and yeah, I don't have a big social circle, but you know, and I don't think she wanted them either, so yeah. And I realized I kept them in like open air with like the sun on them, because that's the location they were at, so I'm not sure how effective they'll actually grow, but you know. Because at the garden center, the herbs are a little more pricey, so. And I realized I might need a few more than I thought I would, so. Because my garden is bigger than I thought. Oh, someone's calling me right now, so sorry, I'll be right back. Hey, so looks like my grandparents are coming over, and they're bringing that big tiller, so the tiltor that I've been worried about. So they're going to try and till looks like they're going to come over and till that area that I wanted. So, and they're probably going to come up pretty soon, so I should probably like end the stream right now. So, you know, sorry, it's kind of a little bit sudden, but you know, it seems like I did a okay amount of work. You know, I didn't think I would actually finish this today, so. Yeah, sorry if this seems a little sudden, but yeah, it's probably better if I just end things. So, you know, thank you everyone for coming, and I hope your days goes well, or nights. So, we came so far, but have fun. Yeah, it seems like we came out. Yeah, it's definitely a lot happened, or I guess, so. The stream was fun. I'm glad you had fun. Alright. I do need to find someone to raid, though, so try to raid someone else. Let's see, who do I go after? Okay, Okay. Sorry, yeah. Let's just... Maybe we should do Naomi again. Yeah, they're doing art right now, so... You know, I try to find... As you might know, I try to find people who are doing the same thing, but... Yeah. Not really the time to look for someone new, or try to do a big checks. So, you know, thank you again for coming, and I hope the rest of your night goes well. As I said before, we are going to raid Naomi. So, hopefully get to see more art. But yeah. Right. See ya. Oh yeah, and streams should be at normal times, hopefully, so. Alright. Have a good day.